Hey folks, my name is Bijan. I have been doing a bit of research. No, look a bit scary. I'm actually growing my hair and it kind of looks a bit all over the shop, but I promise that today's video is going to be normal. So recently I vape. I've been vaping for about 15 years and we can't vape anymore. We can't buy it anymore. I used to have, fantastic flavors. Now, the government wasn't making any money off it, clearly. And because they're not making any money off it, well, they don't like that, because they lose a lot of money. Then I think, according to the statistics, and I've got a whole lot here, they make around 16 to 18 billion a year on tax on tobacco alone. So to lose that money, that's a lot of projects in Australia, right? But I've done a little checklist for you guys, and just a few facts for you. So, according to, and I'll put these links in the description, health.gov.au and tobaccoaustralia.org.au. In 2018, there were 20,482 deaths in Australia from smoking. And I'm going to separate smoking from vaping, guys, so you've got to understand the difference there. So that's just from smoking alone, from tobacco products. That's 13% of the overall deaths for the year in Australia, for the whole population, and approximately 14.4% of the population in Australia smoke tobacco, right? In the same year, there was 178 people who didn't die, but just went to hospital for vaping, 2 deaths, and 1 poisoned toddler, right? Which is sad to hear about the child. And the total number of people of the population that's vape is 13.2%. So if you look at 14.4 and 13.2, I would say roughly that's, I don't know, give or take, let's just throw a rough number out there. We've got 25 million people, so 10%, 2.5 million. What's that by 1? 2.5, well, what's that? Well, it's not like, it's about 250,000, right? So 1% is around 250,000, give or take, or 270,000. We're looking at let's just round it up again, 1.5%. You're looking around mid 300s, maybe 400,000 people difference between the two factions, right? So on one side, we've got smoking that led to 20,482 deaths, and vaping had 2. 2 compared to 20,000. So the population is roughly the same. Yet if I were to do the maths of that, well, I can't be asked, but that's about 1,000%, 1,000 times, right? 20,000, 2,000, 1,000%. Yeah, you can buy cigarettes anywhere. You can buy them anywhere. Can't buy vapes anywhere. Why? Why is that? Don't you find that odd? Just for the pure science, the maths of it. We're talking about the same data, same size of data pool, same amount of people, same age groups, same socioeconomic, but roughly the same. We've got a split of around 375,000, and yet the difference is multiplied by 1,000. However, they have decided that that they didn't. They were losing too much money. Obviously, and I dare say there's been a bit of lobbying, because the only people that you can now buy a vape from is the chemists, and a lot of chemists aren't stocking them. And according to the Australian government, because it's the only brand that you can buy, it's called Vaping. It's actually made by Philip Morris. I reckon who's been to the social club there with a government house there. I reckon a bit of backslapping there and a bit of old school Swiss lobbying. Philip Morris is the only person that's got the contract to do it. So it's not because they don't want you to smoke, guys, because this is going to make the money off you in the same way. It's just because they want you to do it their way. And they're being a bit more stringent about it than cigarettes. Because, I actually can't think of a reason. If you look at the numbers, it's on we've got health.gov.au, tobaccoaustralia.org.au, went to the FDA, the American side, and I found out how many chemicals belong in smoking. Smoking has 7,000 chemicals, right? 7,000. It's a carbonized effect, so it's something that burns, right? Vaping has 4. Now, I've got a friend of mine who actually has a company that makes vape juice, and according to some politician over there in Canberra, he said that it's got paint stripper and this, that, and the other. And he looked at me and goes, mate, there's no paint stripper here. And, well, there isn't. Sorry, I don't know where you got that information from. But 4 ingredients, just think about 4 ingredients versus 7,000. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like getting a pizza with 4 ingredients and then putting one with 7,000. It's totally something totally different. It's like in a totally different grade. And I don't understand for the life of me, they've decided to do this. On top of that, the Australian government is charging $20 for 2 mils, for 2 milliliters. Prior to this, I was buying my own vape. I would pay $35 for 120 mil. Right. So let's just round. Actually, I'm going to be conservative. Let's just make it 100 mil. Right, 100 mil at $35. Okay. If I've got 2 mils and 2 goes into 150 times, 2 times 20, 50 times. So with 20 times, that's $400. I'm going to pay $400 to get the equivalent amount that I was able to get for 35. Now, if you look at smoking, sure, it's not the best thing, or vaping's not the best thing in the world. But I tell you what, it is better than. It's better than doing drugs. It's better than being an alcoholic and dying like that, which I've seen. Gambling, and at least this way, it's self-inflicted. And one hospitalisation from passive vaping. Here's another fun fact for you. Nicotine and caffeine affect your brain in different ways, but they actually stick to your brain in the same way. The difference between nicotine and caffeine on a molecular level is about 2 strands on the table, right? There's not much difference in it. Now, that's a fact. That's scientific fact. Why if and people go, oh, you know, when they vape around, you vape around, and they're like, oh, don't smoke around. I'm like, listen, you know, caffeine and nicotine, they're pretty much the same thing. I go, have you ever been at a barista? Or even been a barista? You're sitting there with smoking, the steam's coming out, and it's got caffeine in it. It's actually the same process. You've got a product that is made from oil, the bean, in this case, the vape juice. It sits on an element, it doesn't burn, doesn't combust, it boils and it steams off. It's the same process. So all that in the morning when you're having a cup of coffee, if you're standing next to the barista, that's like you stand next to a vape. Better not stand next to it because you might get cancer. All those baristas getting cancer. You know, I reckon in about 10 years' time, every barista in Melbourne or wherever is just going to go like that. Hey, that's the way they're looking at it. But no, not if you have the Australian government version of Philip Morris's rendition. That is, well, let's just say it's how many times is 35 going to 400? 12 times. 12 times more expensive. And by a Swiss company that's obviously been in Australia for a long time. Philip Morris has been here for got very good relationships with the government. Let me tell you, right? And that's going back from the old days. 12 times the price. The 2 flavors. I'll be honest with you. This flavor, I'm going from Japanese Hokkaido cheesecake to this. Literally, the flavor is ashtray. I have never ever tasted anything more disgusting in my life. It's literally ashtray flavor. So they're still going to make money off it because if they wanted to do a total ban, they would have just not let it happen. But they're giving prescriptions out, so they're making money. It's making money, you know, through the bulk billing system, or just going to see a doctor for prescription. So it increases the economy there, right? And then you're getting rewarded by the price for an inferior product that, according to their statistics, doesn't do anything to anyone, and yet it's being stuck up our ass. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really like things up my ass. And I just find that really peculiar. Links are down below. Have a good night. Take care. And think about it.